Hello, it's me, Daryl, Florida Catholic guy. At my favorite bridge. Well, I should say my new favorite bridge. It's not a new bridge, just one that I found last week. I think it was last week. And I was out for my ride. I got my scooter down there. You'll see why it's my favorite bridge in just a minute. Although I haven't seen nothing, so maybe it isn't my favorite bridge. This is where I go looking for alligators. Like I said, so far I haven't seen nothing, so I'm not impressed. But I do like it. It's nice. So I was trying to think of something to talk about other than the usual stuff that I talk about. And I don't know if I mentioned it before. I probably did. I don't think I've went into any great detail, but back in, I think it was 2006 or 2007, somewhere around there, I spent the summer at a monastery in Massachusetts. I was trying to obviously get in permanently, but it didn't work out. And there's a lot of reasons it didn't work out. And the biggest reason, I believe, is, it wasn't part of God's plan. And I didn't understand it back then because it was something I really, really wanted for a long time. And to spend all summer, or most of the summer, and to get turned down, it was disappointing. It broke my heart. But now I look back on it, and all the stuff that's happened since then, and my mom needing me after my father passed away, and everything since then. I mean, it's obvious why it wasn't part of God's plan. So just goes to show you, sometimes you don't understand why things happen, but in the end it works out. And anyway, it was Maronite Monastery, which is it's a Catholic monastery. The Maronites are what they call Eastern Rite Catholics, and they have their own customs and traditions. There's a few things I like, or there's a lot of things I liked, and there's a few things I really didn't like, but it wasn't anything that would be a deal breaker for me. To give you an example, parts of the Mass, especially the consecration of the Eucharist, was done in Aramaic, which is the language that our Lord spoke. And other parts were in English. This is one of the things I didn't like. Unlike other Eastern Rite churches, there's different ones. There's the Maronites. I can't think of the other ones. In fact, my priest that said our Latin Mass in Maine was one of the other Eastern rites. And their Mass, the Mass at the Maronites, is more like the Novus Ordo, or what everybody probably knows as the regular Sunday Mass, than anything else other than, using Aramaic. Obviously the Novus Ordo doesn't do that. But, they turned the altars around so the priest was facing the people instead of God, and all that. So that was some of the things I didn't like. Obviously there was a lot I did like. In fact, we did have a priest there that, at least during the weekdays, we had a bunch of priests there, as well as regular monks they call brothers. And so what they do during the week is they all take turns being the main celebrant at Mass, and the rest of them are co-celebrants. And so if this particular priest, as long as he wasn't the main celebrant during the week, he later on, because our Mass was like, 7:30 in the morning, as long as he wasn't the main celebrant of the daily Mass, he would actually say a Latin Mass in the chapel. We had our main church, and then we had a chapel. And that was nice. I went all the time that he did it. And so at least I didn't get away from the Latin Mass, but as well as I was also obviously embracing the Maronite rite. They call it rites, like R-I-T-E, not R-I-G-H-T. Like, you got the Eastern Rite, you got the Western Rite. The Latin Rite would be the Latin Rite would be the Western Rite. And then they got several Eastern rites, like I said, the Maronites, and I'm sure I'll think about it, or I'll look it up, one or the other, but I'm not sure. I can't remember what the other Eastern rites are. Like I said, I'm sure it'll come to me one of these times. But a regular day for us would be, I think I would get up, around 5. I don't remember exactly, because I think we had to be at the chapel for morning prayer by 6 o'clock, so I'd get up at 5, and sometimes I'd take a shower, I think, before going, and then, I'd at least, make my bed and put my clothes on. And we had, I'm having mind cramps today. It's the robes that the monks wear anyway. I had one, and so get dressed in a robe, or whatever you want to call it. Actually, it looks like rain falling down, but I don't know. There's one cloud up there, but who knows? But so anyway, you go to morning prayer at 6, and then have a little bit of time to I don't know if it was actually rest time, but I think, like I said, Mass was at 7:30, so it wouldn't be that long. It would only be like a half hour between morning prayer and Mass. So I'd go in, I don't really remember what I did, but it was pretty much, Mass was a half hour, 45 minutes after morning prayer. So after Mass we had breakfast, and then we had after breakfast we had cleanup time, and then I think after that it was work. You had work period for 2 to 3 hours, and basically what that was is whatever needed doing around the monastery, that's what we had to do, cleaning and mowing lawns, and I got stuck pulling weeds, which wasn't really my favorite thing, but had to be done. So and then I was in the kitchen for a little bit, which didn't care for that either, but I did it. But you do what they tell you. It's I had a couple of incidences where my temper kind of came through, and one of them, I was washing dishes, and this is how stupid my temper is, and I think it was a fork, like a metal fork that I was washing, and it broke while I was washing it. And it's only a fork. It was probably old and it wasn't really any big deal, but I threw it in the sink and I just left. And after a while I came back and I told I think it was one of the priests I was with that was helping me out. I says, because I don't know if he asked me what happened or if I just told him. He said, I told him, I broke a fork, and I got mad and upset about it. And he says, don't worry about it. He says, I've broken a lot of them. And so that was good on him. But, that's probably the reason they used for me not being accepted was my diabetes. And I understand that because, obviously, the health insurance issue, this was before Obamacare. Although they did have Romney Care then because it was Massachusetts. And there was a diabetes, and also that was a time when I ended up getting kidney stones. Oh, and that was fun. I ended up going to the local hospital near where the monastery was, and they treated my kidney stones, and they sent me back home I was living in Maine at the time, and so I could go see my doctor there. And my doctor in Maine, I didn't have any surgery or anything at that time. It was just, they took some more tests and stuff, and at that time I didn't have any more. So in a little while I went back to the monastery, and I'm not sure if I had the episode twice or if just once. but I think it was just once, but I'm not sure. And that hurt. I mean, it was so bad that I didn't make it to Mass, and I never ever missed Mass. And so it's like one of the brothers said when he saw me not at Mass, he knew something was wrong. And oh yeah, I was screaming holy heck. But of course nobody heard me because everybody was at Mass. So finally, after Mass, somebody was able to take me up to the hospital. They didn't keep me overnight. Their normal thing that they do for kidney stones is they'll usually give you a CT scan, and to see what a stone is. They give you IV water, and so that's usually what they do for that. And they give you medicine. They give you medicine for the pain, which that's important. So that's what happened there. Once the pain left, basically the treatment, or basically what they tell you is drink lots of water, and that's how to prevent them. So anyway, I went back. Actually, I think it did happen twice, because I think I came back to the monastery twice, because it was funny. Every time they have a major feast day, one of the holy days, or like the patron of our monastery, what they call a Gaudiamus Day, something, I forget how you say it, but yeah, that's and every time I came back, and it ended up being a Gaudiamus Day, which basically is you don't do any work that day. You have a great big meal, and then you have free time where you can take a walk. And that's another time I got upset. You had a Gaudiamus Day the first time, and a couple of us got together and went for a walk through the woods and everything. You had lots of woods around, which was great. It's awesome. And so we had our walk, and it was nice and everything. And one of the brothers was really, really knowledgeable about the forest and everything else. And so he was great to be with, because he would tell us stuff and everything. And so then the next Gaudiamus Day, we had planned, all of us, to go for a walk. I don't think the guy that was knowledgeable about the woods, I don't think he was coming for whatever reason, but it was the same group. And what ended up happening is we got told by our superiors that we couldn't go for the walk. And they didn't really tell us why. They just said you can go for a walk on your own, but you can't go together. And I got really upset about that. And I didn't go screaming and yelling at anybody or anything, but I just got upset, and finally I asked somebody why they wouldn't let us go together for a walk. And they said it's simply because they didn't want us forming, like, I guess you'd say, like a clique. And, you know, you become too good of friends with somebody, and then, you know, it can be a setup for, you know, defending. You're going to defend your friend, you know, and instead of, you know, being honest about something, whatever happens. So I can understand that. I just didn't at the time, but once they explained things to me, then I understood. But you know, that's one of those things. You know, you're not supposed to question your superiors, and that's what I did. And I mean, I didn't get, you know, like I said, I didn't get upset as far as screaming or disrespecting anybody, but, you know, I didn't handle it the way I was expected to. So that was one of those things that, you know, I'm sure, because I'm not even sure what happened when I didn't get accepted. They ended up telling me that we had a group. They had a sister monastery in Canada, and that was closing. So all the people from Canada, were coming down to where we are. So, well, first of all, the first thing it did was it got us, made us crowded. A couple of the monks had to stay in the guest houses. So, whatever, it is what it is. And ended up being the abbot, who's in charge of the whole monastery. He called me in, and he said that if it was up to him, he says I'd stay. But he said, unfortunately, it's not up to him. And he told me that a lot of the people from Canada they said that they would never accept anybody with diabetes into the monastery, and with them, and, you know, if you had some, it would have been real hard for me to get approved. And the abbot, he said, I could overrule them if I wanted to, but the problem if I did that, then he says they would probably vote me out of office, which they can do if they want to. I understood the thing that he was under, and so he says, you know, you can stay basically as long as you want, but you're not gonna, you know, ever become a real full-fledged member. So it was that I made the decision, if I'm not ever going to officially get in, then why bother staying? So I called my dad to come pick me up the next day, and my dad flew off the handle. He, I mean, not really bad, but he sent a note to he sent a letter to the abbot. I mean, he didn't swear or anything like that, but he sent an angry letter, let's say like that. And I knew what had happened, and, you know, I apologized to the abbot and just said, you know, my dad at that time doesn't know the whole story. And he told me not to worry about it. He says, just know that your father loves you. And, well, I know that. And so he calmed down eventually, and But the thing that we did, we were monks of Adoration, which meant we had to spend at least 2 hours a day in front of the Blessed Sacrament, which was honestly some of the best, probably the best thing about the time I spent there, besides obviously the prayers and Mass every day. So it was good. And you know, I missed it. I still miss it. But you know, I understand what why things happen like they did now. I didn't so much back then, but I do now. So anyway, I think they didn't accept me because of, well, I think it was obviously the diabetes, and combined with the problems I had with the kidney stones. You know, that would be, you know, that's all medical issues that I had that I'm sure got them nervous. And honestly, I don't blame them, but I also think probably a couple times that I got upset made them have second thoughts. And you know, like I said, it's whatever, it was a long time ago. I haven't in a long time, but when I got out for maybe a year or so, I kept in touch with the abbot through letters in the mail, and he wrote back to me and I wrote to him, and you know, obviously they said I could come back anytime for a retreat or something. In fact, some of them joked. They said, if you come back for a retreat, you don't have to pull weeds. So that was good. That was funny. And look at this. This traffic is backed up all the way to Route 301, which is probably a good 1.5 to 2 miles down the road. I remember the first time I got in this traffic, and I mean, it's still backing up even now. I mean, it's aggravated because there's construction going on right now, but this is a regular backup here. I didn't know about when I first moved in, and I got almost to the intersection, and I thought it was backed up because maybe there was an accident or something on 301, and so I got off the road and turned around. I mean, my mom and I weren't going anywhere that we absolutely had to go. I actually think we were going to the strawberry place. And which is something we want to do. I don't know if we'll get to it because it's almost at the time where it's going to close. Actually, the Strawberry Festival is this weekend. I think it's going on now. So, you know, I wouldn't go to the festival, but there's a strawberry farm, that's not too far away from here, that my mom and I went to last year, and it's really nice. They have the best strawberries and other fruit and everything, and you know, they have strawberry shortcake and excuse me, that's what we got. But anyway, back to the monastery. So it was, I look at it with fond memories now. I mean, I'm not upset about what happened, because number one, now I know why it happened, and why it wasn't in God's plan for me, and that I didn't know stuff I know now back then. But that's what life is about, is trusting in God. And it's hard to do. I mean, I still I try, but it's not easy sometimes. But you gotta try. Lately I've been going back to in Gospels, I forget which one, but they say that that the one where God knows what you need, the birds don't sow fields or whatever it is, and yet they still have plenty to eat, and flowers don't knit or anything like that, and there isn't anything more beautiful than the lilies of the field. So if God takes care of the birds and the flowers that are here today and gone tomorrow, your Heavenly Father will take care of much more for you, for us. And it's hard, but I mean, it's doubly hard with myself having depression, and but it's something I gotta look to and work on, and it's just, it is hard, because I can go out like this, and I'm enjoying myself out here and everything, and I like being out in the sun, and I can put a smile on my face, but I'm still not, it's not like nothing's wrong with me, or I still don't, it's like I still have bad thoughts and stuff, and with me, I get a lot of nightmares, sleep disturbances. Of course, I have sleep apnea too, so that doesn't help any. And so I don't get a lot of sleep most nights, and that's all part of I end up going to bed at 3 or 4 in the morning, and it's just I don't know, it's hard, but and I end up, I could literally sleep all day. It's like I wanted to get out here, because I went to the library and got my library card and checked out the library and everything. I wanted to do that, and I wanted to get out and take my ride on my scooter and everything to get out and enjoy the weather. When I got up, and it was already 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I could have very easily rolled back over and went back to bed. And it's just tough, and I got to force myself. Like today, I says, well, I'm never gonna I'm never going to go to the library or get out and do the stuff I need to do or want to do if I don't get out of bed and go out. And then when I finally do get up, it's, I don't want to take a shower or shave or anything like that, and I'll just throw on a sweatpants and t-shirt and basically sit on the couch watching TV all day, or be on my iPad or whatever. And so and I guess some of it too explains my procrastination about scheduling like appointments and stuff, because I don't like talking on the phone anyway. It sounds odd since I'm actually talking into a phone all the time with this, but I don't know, I just don't like talking on the phone. But I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do, especially with this COVID stuff going on. And that's just the way I am. And I mean, even the stuff that I enjoy, like say motorcycle riding, I got my boat and stuff like that. I enjoy that. I'm just not motivated to get out and do anything. And it's a struggle even to take my dog for a walk sometimes. But and they say, well, it helps you, going out for a walk or getting out will help with your depression. And well, I guess maybe a little bit, but even when I get out, maybe it helps me in the short term, but then an hour, 2 hours later, I'm right back where I was. So it is, it's something I got to deal with, I guess. It's just, I don't want to say, there's no hope for me, but, it's just difficult. I mean, even, the simple stuff like going to Mass on Sundays, a lot of times what's been happening is I get up and I just don't feel like going, and I don't go, and that's not good either. But that's like tomorrow I got my men's Holy League meeting. I'm not sure if I'll be going to that. I'm going to try to go, but depends on how I feel when I get up. And also my anger outburst, I was ticked off that I had to wear a mask, but that was just an excuse. It's not, I could have gone in my car that day and ordered what I needed in my car and had it brought out to me. And it wouldn't have been an issue, but I made it one. And I just don't handle things right a lot of times. And even my mom, yesterday, or not yesterday, a few days ago when I told her some of the thoughts I was having. She said she was scared for me, and I says, I'm scared for myself sometimes. And now I got this compensation evaluation coming up, and that's adding a whole bunch more stress on me. So I don't know, I gotta do what I gotta do, I guess. Oh, that's scheduled for Saturday, which I'm actually surprised about. It is a video conference, so I don't have to go anywhere. But I'm still surprised it's on Saturday at noon. I thought it would be during the week, but whatever. He sent me the information on it. I won't say what I was going to say in case, this gets out there, but all I'll say is a doctor's from Chicago. And he or she, can't really tell by the name. I want to say it's a she, but I'm not sure. But she's only been doing this for less than a year for the VA. Which, I guess that could, that could be a good thing or a bad thing, the way it's supposed to work is the doctor that I'm going to talk to, her job is just to examine me and ask me the questions and report back to the VA, and then it's actually the VA that makes the decision. So, it is what it is, so I just gotta, put it all out there and not hold back, and said it helps to have a family member also talk, so my mom should be able to speak to the doctor too, so that'll help, I think. Because, I was reading it, and, as veterans, when we were in the military, whenever something was wrong, whenever we didn't feel good or something was up, the saying was you have to suck it up and press on. So all veterans tend to minimize their symptoms. And I go back to my dad when he had cancer, and he had to have it for a while, and he had been in some real pain, and he really didn't complain about it. Sometimes he'd just say, I got a little stomach trouble tonight or something, and unfortunately not getting it checked out earlier may have cost him, although I do believe that when it's your time to go, you're gonna go. It's just that was a rough spot in my life when my dad died. Still miss him all the time, but it was my father and I did everything together, and it's obviously it's not the same without him. But my mom and I we were always close anyway, but I was daddy's guy, because my mom never really, at least later on, never could go out for walks and do the stuff that my dad and I did. So I spent a lot of time with my dad. But after he died, I got even closer to my mom, and I'm grateful for that. And I couldn't live without her right now. I pray that God gives her many good years left. But anyway, this is a long one, so I'll stop now. And so that was the story of the being in the monastery, and why I ended up not staying in the monastery. So I'll say good night, God bless you. Actually, yeah, it's evening now. Good evening, God bless you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.